is played at Kent Memorial Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, the 27th of November, 1947. Lineups for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel. At left end, number 25, Russ Kaler. At left tackle, number 75, Phil Vincennes. At left guard, number 37, Len Kacheski. At center, number 22, Alfie Tufel. At right guard, number 84, Ralph Menapace. At right tackle, captain, number 71, Wes Brassington. At right end, number 36, Johnny Benchikowski. At quarterback, number 11, John Hammerney. At left halfback, number 19, Cowder. At right halfback, number 13, Joe Savage. At fullback, number 14, Ed Stecker. The substitutes that got into Singer, Karicki. The Red Tornadoes, Mike Terry. Assistant coaches, Joe Paskevich, Charlie Sakavage, and Tommy Berchinski. Oh, it's Mr. Sakavage. Coach Sakavage and Paskevich leaving the team bus. Now we see the players. Number 18, Marquette, 32, Machikevich, 74, Knifer, 36, Benchikowski, 80, Rinkevich, and 22, Tufel getting off the bus. And next is Kent Memorial Stadium with the Shamokin High School band taking the field pregame. And here is first-year Mount Carmel coach Mike Terry, who played on Mount Carmel's 1927 state championship team. Mount Carmel High School band couldn't fit in the stands, and here we have Mount Carmel captain number 71, Wes Brassington, and his co-captains meeting the Shamokin captains. That goes up for a 14-yard gain. Marquette picks up another 5 yards. Number 16, Whizzer White, gets 3, but backfield in motion. And this pass is caught by Marquette, good for 18 yards. A 10-yard pass from Kenny Wenrick to Ray Rosinski. First down. And first down. Adams gets the touchdown on a 7-yard reverse from Joe Savage. And the end of the game, extracurricular activities. A greatly underrated Mount Carmel team started its 1947 season with a victory over Erie Academy High School, 6-0. Seeming to gather more strength and ability with each game, the squad under the superlative guidance of Coach Terry finished with the impressive record of 9-3, with a near upset over Pottsville's mighty team and a thrilling victory over Sunbury highlighting the season. The Red Tornadoes came through triumphantly. The exciting 12-0 victory over Shamokin, our traditional rival, capped the climax to the schedule of one of the most powerful teams ever to represent Mount Carmel on the gridiron. Since all of the players on the squad saw action this year, Coach Terry has succeeded in molding excellent material for future teams in which Mount Carmel's gridiron glory will once again be evidenced. The students of our high school can well be proud of the achievements of both coach and team. And the starting lineups for Shamokin, number 37 at left end. And now, Hynoski goes back to pass and throws a 30-yard strike to Kelly Butts. There's a good block by Steve Forkus that springs Butts for the touchdown. And Charlie Marquette goes into the end zone for the Red Tornado touchdown. The PAT attempt by Adams coming up. is wide, and the score is Mount Carmel 25, Shamokin nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, we take you back to Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 23rd, 1950, for the annual Thanksgiving Day game between the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes and Shamokin Greyhounds. What you're seeing here is the parade for homecoming. In 1952, Mount Carmel Township had just joined Mount Carmel High School, and to form Mount Carmel Joint, you notice the majorettes, cheerleaders, and band are in two different colors, red and white and green and gold for the township. For homecoming, you notice the gentlemen sitting on the field. They are members of the Mount Carmel High School 1927 State Championship team. And now we see the Thanksgiving Day game, Shamokin Greyhounds and the Mount Carmel Tornadoes joint victory. I believe this is DeMarco carrying the ball. And he breaks around the left end. Notice the old dugouts for the football team. And the Red Tornadoes get into the end zone. As you see, the crowd goes wild. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We take you to East End Memorial Stadium in Monterey City for tonight's game between the Mount Carmel Joint Red Tornadoes and Monterey City. I believe they were called the Miners at that time. 5th, 1953, game time at 8 p.m. And now the starting lineup for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School. At left end, O'Neill. Left tackle, Dan Ficca. Left guard, Captain Rosinski. 3rd and 10, Tango rolls out and gets 11 and a first down at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 34. A TD run by Tom Zarco. Great downfield block there. I couldn't see who made the block. The extra point is good by number 17, Ricky Cornetti. Mount Carmel kickoff. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We take you back to the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel for the annual Thanksgiving Day contest between the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes and the Shamokin High School Greyhounds. Thursday, November 25th, 1954. And now for the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes at left end, number 30, Ron Jellis. At left tackle, number 40, Tom Reback. Left guard, 43, Dan Ficca. We now take you back to Saturday, December 4th, 1954, for the Eastern Pennsylvania Interscholastic Football Championship game between the West Scranton Invaders and the Mount Carmel Joint Red Tornadoes. For Mount Carmel Joint High School, Red Tornadoes, starting lineup at left end, number 30, Ron Jealous. Left tackle, number 40, Tom Revac. Left guard, number 43, Captain Dan Ficca. At center, number 22, Sariski, or number 20, Vernon Block. Number 93 at right guard, Bill Luskus. Number 24 at right tackle, Henry Coyne. Number 90 at right end, Tommy Brzezinski. Number 23, the quarterback, Wayne Powder. Number 14, the left halfback, Jiggs Ficca. Or left halfback, number 17, Speedy Butella. Number 12, the right halfback, Glenn Wetzel. And number 10, the fullback, Bob Shannon. The rest of the Red Tornado lineup: head coach, Mike Terry. Assistants, George Rona, Vic Dahl, Charlie Carlo. Athletic director, Glenn Menges. And the principal, Vince McCabe. Second and 10, Wetzel gets 23 and a first down at the 17, tackled by number 34, Reagan, with the saving tackle. At first and 10, a pass, Cotter to right end number 90, Verchinsky, is good, but there's pass interference, and the ball's on the 6. First down, Cotter gets 4 to the 2 on an option play. Then Cotter fumbles and recovers at the 3-yard line. Cotter loses back to the 7-yard line, and then a pass, Cotter to Verchinsky for a 7-yard touchdown. Ficca carries in for the extra point, Mount Carmel 7-0. Back to Canis, and right tackle Tom Revac gets run out of the game for fighting. On the first play, quarterback Ewan, and great tackle there, can pick it up. Mount Carmel has the ball, and Wetzel goes for 12 yards to the 39-yard line. And here we see Wetzel taking the pass from Cotter, 33 yards for a TD. Extra point by Ficca is good. It's 14-0 Mount Carmel. 2, Red Tornadoes take over. Cotter's pass to Frank Ficca is good for 15 yards, all the way down to the 27. Nice catch. First down and 27, Ficca gets 4 to the 23. On second and 6, Cotter's back to pass, and it falls incomplete. Third and 6 at the 23. Glenn Wetzel goes 23 yards breaking tackles for a Red Tornado touchdown. The extra point pass falls incomplete, and it's 20-0 Mount Carmel. Pass to Verchinsky for the extra point, and the score is 27-6. Dan Ficca kicked off to Shaw, who returned from his 32 to the 45, but Mount Carmel. Ladies and gentlemen, we now take you back to Friday night, the 9th of September, 1955, for the big intersectional battle between the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes and the Sayre High School Redskins. This was the second in a 2-game series with Sayre. Mount Carmel traveling up to Sayre last year for a great game, and we expect a great game on this one as well. Sayre's squad and 70-piece band using 4 buses were accompanied on a 100-mile trip by a good-sized delegation of students and townspeople from this community of 8,000 people along the Pennsylvania and New York border. Starting lineup for the Sayre High School Redskins. At left end, the starting lineup for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School. At left end, Vitello will pick up 2 down to the 8. Brings up a 4th and 5, and Wetzel sweeps the left end and goes in for the TD. The extra point falls incomplete. 3rd and 10, Cotter's pass is completed to Jealous. And on 1st and goal, Shannon picks up a yard. On 2nd, from the 4-yard line, left halfback Vitella gets into the end zone. Red Tornado touchdown. The extra point is kicked and blocked. Cheerleaders and band take to the field. And I believe the band director was Florian Scavoni. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We take you back on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, 1955, to Kemp Memorial Stadium in Shamokin for the annual Thanksgiving Day game between the Shamokin Greyhounds and the Mount Carmel High School, Joint High School Red Tornadoes. Game time, 2:30. For the visiting Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School, at left end, number 34, Ed Zulik. To left tackle, number 70, Tom Revac. Left guard, head coach, Mike Terry. Assistant coaches, George Rona, Vic Dahl, and Charlie Carlo. Athletic director, Glenn Menges. On second down, Cotter screen pass to Wetzel for 26-yard gain all the way down to the 12-yard line. First and 10, Shannon around left end for 5 to the 7. Third and 10, Shamokin, Shannon dives into the end zone for Mount Carmel, 6, Shamokin nothing. Extra point is wide. Kickoff for the Red Tornadoes to the 30, where Richie fumbles and Ron Jellis recovers for the Red Tornadoes. Mount Carmel first and 10 at the Shamokin 29, Butel gets 4 to the 25. Second and 6, Butel goes for 3 to the 22. On third and 3, Wetzel blasts over right side for 5 yards and first down. First and 10 at the 17, Wetzel gets 11 to the 6. First and goal, Butella goes into the end zone for a Red Tornado touchdown. The extra point attempt by Zenny is wide right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we go back to Friday, the 5th of October, 1956, at the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel for the neighborhood encounter between the visiting Wildcats of Coltmont High School and the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School. And now the starting lineup for the Coltmont area Joint High School Wildcats. At left end, number 82, Daniels. Left tackle, number 70, Chesney. Left guard, number 3, Red Tornado lineup, number 71, left end, Roger Williams. At left tackle, number 59, Dave Revac. Left guard, number 32, Jerry Oslansky. At center, number 58, Bob Washaleski. Right guard, number 53, Ray Frouts. Second and goal, Ficka goes to the 1. Third and goal, Ficka off right tackle into the end zone for the touchdown. Fourth and 10, Colganity's punt is downed on the 3-yard line. Clint picked up the Red Tornado who downed the punt. Second and 10, Procopio's fumble, recovered by Stibbets in the end zone, and it is a Red Tornado touchdown. Pekka gets the extra point, Mount Carmel 14, Coltmont nothing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We go back to Friday night, the 15th of November, 1957, to the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel for tonight's big encounter between the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes and the Sunbury High School Owls. The starting lineup for the Sunbury High Owls, at left end, number 49, Smith. The starting lineup for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School. At left end, number 87, Roger Williams. At left tackle, number 67, Dave Revac. At left guard, number 40, Richard Morris. Coach, Mike Terry. Assistant coaches, George Rona and Charlie Carlo. The athletic director, Glenn Menges. Field judge, Elton Hunsinger. First and 15 at the 29, Darrell picks up 14 to the 14-yard line. And now Darrell gets the first down at the 13-yard line. Hynoski now gets the carry and goes into the end zone for the touchdown, following blocks by Darrell and Stibbets. Hynoski brings up a third and 15, and Byersmith's pass to Hynoski is good all the way down to the 2-yard line. On this play, Darrell hits the left tackle and into the end zone for the TD. On the extra point try, Byersmith has stopped. The second and goal, Gelati breaks into the end zone off the left side. Touchdown. The PAT Sherman, and here you see Berwick Souvenir Program. Game played at Crispin Field between the Berwick High School Bulldogs and the visiting Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes Crispin Memorial Field on Saturday, October 4th, 1958. And the starting lineup for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel area, the visitors. At left end, number 13, Jim Trioni. Left tackle, number 62, Jerry Sicily, or 69, Rockwell. Left guard, number 40, Rich Morris. The center, number 66, Jack Slaughterback, or 63, Whistle. Right guard, number 31, Bob Royer. Right tackle, number 87, Roger Williams. The right end, number 29, Francie Menapace. At quarterback tonight, the quarterback, 36, Jim Bierschmidt. Left halfback, number 38, Jim Garrett. The right halfback, number 45, Fred Hynoski. At fullback, either number 47, Bruce Habowski, or number 12, Steve Bolick. For Berwick, starting at quarterback, number 23, Ron Rhodes. At halfback, left halfback, number 31, George Toss. At left end, number 33. Tonight's halftime entertainment at the Berwick game is provided by the Mount Carmel High School Band, the cheerleaders, and majorettes. Cheerleaders were Ruth Bierschmidt, Carol Boyle, Louise Breslin, Sandra Falke, Pat Warner, Roseanne Karlovich, Kathy Lucas, Ada Marquette, Beverly Maurer, Virginia Petrevich. And the majorettes, Anne-Marie Chesney, Joanne Diak, Vivian McCoy, Marianne Heroman, and Carol Kramer. On 2nd and 4, Hynoski goes 34 yards on a dive play for the Mount Carmel touchdown. There's a penalty on the extra point run. A pass falls incomplete. Hynoski goes into the end zone for the Mount Carmel touchdown. And now, Bierschmidt back to pass to Francis Menapace, good for 67 yards, the longest touchdown of the night. The extra point is good with Bolick on a run to end the third quarter. Remainder of the game that did not appear on film. In what little time was left following another kickoff and exchange of the ball, the Tornado shock troops banged out 2 more first downs on an 8-yard aerial, Cotter to George Michaelitis. Coupled with a 3-yard advance by Mazzella and a 26-yard heave, Cotter to Bolick to Berwick's 30, where 2 additional passes were grounded, and a third was intercepted by John Horvat as the title and the end of the game. There were several outbreaks in the game. There was more than one flare-up as Mount Carmel High overwhelmed Berwick on its own gridiron. Besides an outbreak between players during the game with some fans rushing on the field, a fight also occurred afterward when a Berwick fan accosted members of the Red Tornadoes. The stadium got filled with people, and they turned the lights out to try to stop it. It only made it worse. Then later, a stone was thrown through the bus. In the melee at the end of the game, several members of the Naval Security Station in Washington, D.C., who were attending a wedding in Mount Carmel on that Saturday, went to the game to see Berwick and Mount Carmel play. The one petty officer, first-class communications technician, Les Renninger of Burlington, Iowa, got a tooth knocked out at the end of the game by a Berwick fan. And now we see the Mount Carmel Joint High School Band. And here are the cheerleaders. You see Ada Marquette, Beverly Maurer, and Virginia Petrevich. And now the first look at our new professor, Professor Paul Semichek. What would be the first in a illustrious career as director of the Mount Carmel High School Band, later to be known as the Mounties. At halftime of tonight's game with Coltlawn, the Mount Carmel Area School District honored players of the past, going all the way back from 1957 team to the 1906 team. And there you see in the white baseball cap, Tony Mazzella, who was the become the trainer of the Red Tornadoes for many years. And some of the elderly gentlemen who you will see out in the middle of the field now included from the 1906 team Jack Bergstresser, 1909 Marshall Stecker, 1910 Tom Hughes, 1912 George Shipman, 1913 Edgar Reed, and former coaches. The 1915 to 21 coach George Delkamp, 26 to 1930 Ray Singley and Hal Schaefer, 1931 to 1933 Walt Levine, and 1934 to 1936 Al Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, we take you now back to Athletic Park in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania on the 1st of October, 1960 for the encounter between the Bloomsburg Panthers and the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes. At left end, a 195-pound, 6'4" senior, number 68, Anthony Bagashinsky. Left tackle, 5'9", 194-pound senior, number 49, Rich Batista. At left guard, 5'9", 175-pound senior, number 65, co-captain Ed Kovac. At center, a 6', 180-pound senior, number 36, Robert Moratelli. At right guard, a 5'9" junior, 183-pounder, number 67, Frank Yuricheski. At right tackle, either number 87, Tom Hodrick, a 6', 178 junior, or number 88, Francis Prophet, a 185-pound, 6'2" junior. At the right end, number 27, Dennis Rieger, 5'10", 150-pound senior. Or number 45, Paul Zenya, a 163-pound, 6'1" end, and a senior. At quarterback, number 39, Charles Greco, a 5'11", 170-pound senior. At left halfback, number 38, Frank Morgan, a 5'9", 168-pound junior. At right halfback, co-captain, number 44, Lenny Guarna, 5'6", 160-pound senior. And at fullback, a 5'10", 178-pound junior, number 14, Norbert Bonjo. Unfortunately, Bloomsburg did not provide us with a starting lineup, but there you can see their squad, pick out the numbers that you see in the game following, and identify them. This play is worth seeing again on instant replay. Lenny Guarna has his helmet ripped off and continues to go 70 yards for a Red Tornado touchdown, a record with no helmet. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We take you back to the Silver Bowl on Friday night, the 7th of October, 1960, for tonight's neighborhood rivalry between the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes and the Coltmont High School Wildcats. For the visiting Coltmont Wildcats, the starting lineup, at left end, number 82, Robert Domoleski. The left tackle, number 93, Dennis Marshall. Quarterback tonight, number 74, Andy Bubnas. At left halfback, number 89, Frank Miriello. Right halfback, number 65, Steve Matsura. Second and 10. Grossman again back to pass, and this time he hits Joe Orzechowski, a reserve, for 36 yards and a Mount Carmel touchdown. Jay Stavinsky goes into the end zone for the touchdown with 7:14 left in the third period. brings up a 3rd and 8 for the Red Tornadoes. Grossman's pass is completed to McFadden for a Red Tornado touchdown. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, we welcome you to the annual Thanksgiving Day game between the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School and the Shamokin Greyhounds. Game is played at the Silver Bowl on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, 1960. And now for the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School. Tonight at left end, or this afternoon at left end, number 68, Anthony Bagashinsky. At left tackle, number 49, Rich Batista. At left guard, co-captain, number 65, Ed Kovac. At center, number 36, Bob Moratelli. At right guard, number 35, Frank Krzyzewski. Right tackle, number 87, Tom Hodrick. The right end. 3rd and 16, quarterback Charlie Greco on a rollout. Gets all the way down to the 17-yard line before he stopped. Brings up 2nd and goal on the 8. Greco's pass is completed to Guarna, and this time he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Greco's pass to Bagashinsky makes a circus catch in the end zone as he deflects it and catches it. 7-0, Red Tornadoes, and that 3rd and 10. Once again, new quarterback Thomas's pass this time is intercepted by number 39, Charlie Greco, and returned to the Shamokin 15. First and 10, Red Tornadoes. 3rd and 8 from the 13. Morgan carries for a 1-yard gain as the game comes to a final conclusion. And now we will see the jubilation as the Red Tornadoes hold on. 7-6. There's Coach Mike Terry in the hat, being surrounded, and eventually lifted to be carried off the field. But protocol says he's got to go over and shake hands with the Shamokin head coach, with Sorrentino, and so the boys let him down, and he walks across the field to congratulate Shamokin as well. You see now the Mount Carmel Joint High School band in their new uniforms, getting prepared to march off the field. Professor Paul Semichik in the raincoat. And there you saw the crowd filing out the Silver Bowl. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we take you down to Coltmont, Pennsylvania for the game tonight, Friday, October 6, 1961, between the visiting Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel Joint High School and, according to this program, the Coltmont Area Joint High School Wildcats. The starting lineup for the visiting Red Tornadoes: at left end, number 54, Bierczewski. Left tackle, number 63, Profit. Left guard, number 72, Bugman. Our quarterback tonight, number 17, Grossman. Left halfback, number 18, Menapace. Right halfback, number 23, McFadden. And the fullback, number 25, Bonjo. And number 49, Paul Pollack. Left tackle, number 91, Den Marshalik. At left quarterback tonight, number 48, Andy Bubnitz. Left halfback, 47, Frank Miriello. Right halfback, number 42, Steve Matsura. And at fullback, number 41, Vic O'Leary. The head coach is Ed Stavinsky. 1st and 10 after the shift. Bubnitz's pass is intercepted by Ken Stavinsky at the Coltmont 33. And Stavinsky goes all the way for the touchdown, Red Tornado. 2nd and 10. Grossman back to pass again, this time to McFadden for a 24-yard touchdown into the end zone. McFadden on the reception. Stavinsky at the 39. Grossman goes around right end, 39 yards for the Red Tornado touchdown. and McFadden kicks the extra point. And that brings up a 3rd and 12. Bierschmidt now, a 75-yard touchdown pass to Buracheski. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's afternoon because it's Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd, 1961, and we're at Kent Memorial Stadium in Shamokin, Pennsylvania for the 2 o'clock kickoff between the Shamokin Area Joint High School, I think they're still the Greyhounds, and the Mount Carmel Joint High School Red Tornadoes. The starting lineup for the Mount Carmel High School Red Tornadoes: at left hand, coach Mike Terry, assistant coaches George Rona and Charles Carlo, athletic director Glenn Mangus. And now for Shamokin, at left end, number 81, George Chomp, assistant coaches Mel Paul, Ward Lichtel, Harold Thomas, Joe Diminick, and Robert Toa. Bonjo again gets the carry, and this time Bonjo goes into the end zone. The score, Mount Carmel 6, Shamokin nothing. And now a bit of razzle-dazzle. Snap to Bonjo, laterals to Grossman, who passes to Salonis, good for a touchdown. Second and goal, Grossman's bootleg gets into the end zone as he bootlegs left, TD. McFadden gets in for the extra point, but Mount Carmel is penalized 5 yards. Repeat of the extra point try. Menapace on a halfback pass to number 55, Tony Sansoni, good for the point, and the score, Mount Carmel 19, Shamokin nothing. 2nd and 10, and Buracheski intercepts Lichtel's pass at the 26 and returns to the 21. A keeper picks up 2 to the 30, and that turns out to be the last play of the game. The Red Tornadoes' jubilation after winning was quickly subdued when head coach Michael Terry, boarding the team bus, was stricken with a fatal heart attack. Coach Terry scored Mount Carmel's touchdown in the 1927 state championship game, and it was held at Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania, on the campus of Penn State, over Bellefonte. A graduate of Villanova University, he returned and coached at Coltmont until 1947, when he returned to his alma mater at Mount Carmel and became the head coach of the Red Tornadoes. His close friends included George Rona, Glenn Mangus, Al Rusgas, and my Uncle Bill Bierschmidt. I read of his untimely death while stationed in London, England, in the overseas military newspaper, the Stars and Stripes, where it had a prominent place in the paper. The Mount Carmel item stated his funeral was one of the largest ever held in this city. The following individuals volunteered their time and expertise in order to preserve the proud tradition of Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes football history.